I think we are live. Let me quickly have check if it is working. All right, that sounds good. I think there is some muffled voice there, but I think it should be fine enough if I speak it clearly, and it should be much more better. Okay, so last time what we did was created this codex. If you are, because I'm not using any code to generate it, it was just setting up my system here. So some issues that I don't want to involve it and we just forget it when it's done. So I was doing that. So last time what we did was understood the query method. I think we created a project. It was playground or somewhere. API. Uh, I'm not sure if it was a project. Is it for an HTTP? It probably was in Git, I believe. Yeah, yes. Keeping track of project is a bit nightmare. Uh, let's see if I can pull it up here. Let's forget that. What I wanted to say is we created this method. First, I wanted the file. So let me quickly find where the path it was. It was somewhere. Just give me a second. I'm quickly checking out on my phone where the path was. I will tell you that. So I will quickly use that to find the path. That should be quick enough. Okay, it was in flight tracker GPS. So one of the songs. It was definitely in Git. It was in flight tracker, and there is an API folder here that is how we created this. So if I do go run main.co, it spawns up the server, and hopefully we can do a curl here. Yeah, this should be the curl, and it gives us that because it was application text. If I just make it application JSON, it should support that now, and we get the result back. Cool, right? So that is what I wanted to show here. And what you would see here is that it is using listen and store, which is like a HTTP server, which is fetched from the net HTTP library. So this is quite simple, right? Like That is like very simple to serve a function, but what I wanted to create is an HTTP server from scratch. So we'll leave everything behind here. I don't want to pollute this thing, so I'll keep repeating it. So let's create um, two, I think MD was quite famous on next CD, and let's create HTTP server. Go. Okay, so how do we create a basic server? Go is pretty straightforward, I believe. So there is this net HTTP package in Golang that helps us build with it, right? So what it does is it helps us um, listen and serve. So I think in HTTP we have something called as a application and the port. In this case, we are listening on uh, listen and serve at 8,000 port, but the domain name is something which is like known as localhost, I believe here, because it is truncated here. So let's go into a little bit deeper here to understand what listen and serve actually does. So it should be something called listen and serve, and this takes in a string and a function. So let's take an example here. Every example gives us that. So listen and serve listens on a TCP network right? Address, and then calls serve with handler to handle requests and connections. Accepted connections are configured to enable TCP people. Handler is typically nil, which is revolves so, okay. This is what they are saying is the basic HTTP server that you can have. So let's see what it is. So let's start with functioning and package main. Then they are saying to have HTTP dot listen and serve at 8080, and the next part is nil. So what is that here? This is HTTP handler. So what is the handler? So HTTP, okay. The handler is typically nil, in which case default server box is used. What is server box? Contains filtered and unexploited fields, patterns, server box in HTTP request multiplexer. It measures the URL of incoming request against the list of registered patterns and calls the handler for pattern, and mostly only measures the URL. Okay. So it is, I would say, if I'm coming from Django, it is kind of the views or the URLs handler of that sort. So if we keep it nil, it will be using that kind of the default one, which is server box. But I'm not sure because it doesn't contain any exported fields, does it? The server must be respect contains filter underscore retrieve. So what is the point of creating that like like if we cannot extend it, right? Like maybe it is for casting different servers. Not sure about that as well. So let's at least create a simple handler. This is a hello handler here. Hello handler, which takes in the function response and writer as we know, and we write the bytes in hello world, and this should be routed as http dot handle function to be route dash dash hello or as it says hash to the hello handler. And if we try to run this and let's actually do a call only http localhost 8080 and slash we get hello world. So localhost is nothing but uh, any address on the local server. So it works for any of those addresses. I think it works for any of them. No, no, 0 or 1 0 1 is something different. But I think 192.168 point something at 1.1. What is that? Okay, I am not sure. Let's see if AI is able to give us something. We have three different types of IP addresses and mostly used to define how devices communicate within local networks and internal systems. This is a private IP address. Okay? Default addresses for local routers and gateways. Local network in LAN with address talks tells the server to listen on any available network interfaces. So this is like I think used for multi like outside your uh, instead of your like what do you call device, but within the network, right? Because it's the private address used by like routers. Yeah. So I think this is for multiple device communication maybe. And 010 is just like a self-referencing within the internal within the device itself. 010 is I would say the IP address equivalent of 127.0.1 human readable addresses. When connected, you cannot efficiently type. Okay, right. That is enough for now. But this is the basic server that we can have. But now I want to see how we can create this from scratch. So I think we are doing like we are not doing anything. It is everything is everything is done by listen and so. If you listen and so, okay, you can see a server is our address and the handler. I want to know what the handler actually is. So let's introduce a function that creates the interface, I think. Listen and serve. Listen is separate and serve is a company separate. Okay. Listen. It takes the network and the address. Listen, okay. You can see how much stuff it does here, but like we are not sure what it actually should be doing. So we did this one, and now I want to let's sorry, let's go back. Yeah, here let's also maybe add a response like a post request. Let's call it ping back function. Yeah. So I think we can do a body here, maybe which will take in from the request. So I think I always if the iOS if it's still able to do this. So from the request body, we should be like, able to get the read the bytes from the body if it's coming incoming from the request. So this handles like as a file descriptor, and then we have to close the body. So this is string me. So we make sure that we are closing when the connection actually ends, and we just ping it back, right? Uh, with effort child body. So whatever you send, we send it back, whatever form of content it is. And here, what I wanted to do is, but how do we do it for get in the post? I mean, if we also work with ping, no, oh, that should be the same. Yeah. So what it does is, when it has the body, gives it back. Okay. Think, I think we can do it in here itself without having the two separate functions. If uh, r dot method is equals to http dot method get, then what we want to do is simply write hello world, else if we do this, else we say method not allowed. Yeah, and this will be no. Now, if I restart the server, this will not have happened, and if we just work wait, how is it working? How is it working? here. Like what if I do a local host 8,000? Does it give any error? It's actually no difference here. I'm a little bit worried. I just changed that exclamation point, so let's see if it is actually working or it is working. Anyways, so this is what I want to suppose. Now I want to go a little bit deeper here. Okay, how do we do it? Let's look at the net library here. This is a full HTTP method. Bio, listen, okay, TCP. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, there are a lot of machines here. I think the guide was a good starting point here. Instead of doing for window connection, what is LN? Listening server. Is it LN listener? Maybe listener network or LN, whatever it is. Listening. Listener dot file, then dot listener. Like, I cannot see a connection. Yeah, can you? Listening function is not seen here. Listen, where it is. Listening announces on a local network address. Network must be TCP, TCP4, TCP6, Unix, Unix packet. What is Unix and TCP? For TCP networks, the host address parameter is empty or a literal unspecified IP address. Oh, the address method of listener can be used to discover the choosing port. Okay, interesting. So this is inside of net. Okay, but like, what is the dial and listening the difference? Listening function creates server. Dial function connects to a server. Oh, okay. Okay. Connect to a server and create a server. So the dial is for actually sending a request, and listening is to create that TCP connection on the socket, right? and then that socket can accept connections. Think that is right for the most part. What I will do now is create a net.com. This will basically have same thing, but uh, we will try to abstract this one. Okay. So listen function create server. That is what we want to create. Listener to the TCP port. And then error so net dot listen to a TCP. I'm not sure why should we use only TCP and not Unix. We haven't mentioned it anywhere except close and address. Actually, it points us to a source. I want to know what network actually is. Network, right? This, yeah, control F, network. Network must be UDP, UDP4, UDP6, UDP7, or IP6 port. IP transport by IP, IP4, IP6 followed by colon by UDP. Where is TCP? What? Transfer configuration to the file. Okay. Okay, TCP is for remote machines over network, but bypassing the network layer. Okay, so this is unique and domain socket. Okay, and what it's the port 1000 and the now we open up our link here because we want to keep the connection open and we want to have the connection open. So go handle connection. This will be, I think, a function that we define here. So let's call it hello handler, the same as we did here. So go hello handler should work normally. Uh, connection. Hmm. What is handler connection now? I don't think that will work. This is something different. Let's move it for now. Understand what we need to do with the connection. And this is one connection because as we saw in the listener, as we created from here, it created the listener, and listener is something that accepts a connection in the order manner basically. So we need to define that. We need to like have a interface basically that handles the connection or accepts the connection basically. So that should be the handler. But okay, here it is. Handle the connection in new coding the loop and return to accepting so that multiple connections being served concurrently. Okay. C dot close. Well, we are going to do a loop here. Script. I dot copy. C and C shut down the connection. So let's try this. Let's see what happens here. If we try to do go, we need a function that accepts a connection. There should be a function. Why is it doing that? A connection which is of type network dot connection. Let's see. And I think if it's connection, it should be there should be something to be done, right? Like what do we do with the connection here? So type connection is an interface, okay? So I think we can read data from the connection. We can read out the time limits, set time limit, okay? So read, interesting. So it's just an interface, so we can basically define that, right? But how do we like get what is that in the connection? It says it has read bytes from like byte from where? Here. It has a dial method. What is handle connection? Is it a function? Nothing there. Let's see, although the package provides access to whatever networking computers, most clients will need the basic interface provided by dial listener and accept function and the associated connection and listener interfaces. Let's see. So we are listening to that. How to uh, we have already accepted the connection. Now we want to handle the connection. To handle network connection in Golang, you use net.listen to accept connection resource site net.file. Managing the individual connection lifecycle relies on the net.connection interface. Yeah, we are very close in that because we now already have the net.connection in our uh, lifecycle because we are listening to it. Now we have accepted any incoming connection to the request. Now we are about to handle that. So the interface and the connection provides is the interface which provides code methods like read, write, and close. Here the context is write boilerplate connection. Okay. Default connection close. This is what we did, and this is something read and write to connection. Okay. Is it that simple? It can't be that simple, right? How do you read and write? Connection not right by data. Let's try that. But it's said first to defer what. So to close the connection at the end, close, and then, but there is, oh, okay, okay. What am I doing now? That is, especially no what's the function called. Oh, okay, okay. This should be a function call. When there's a way to function calling, anonymous function calls, right? And then therefore listen. I think it was in the listener one. Listen, need to pass the connection. No, we don't need this now. Of- So to run, we created net.golang. We're still serving on that. Received HTTP 0.1. What is 0.11? What did we do wrong? Right, bytes to this connection dot right. Um, oh, I can see the issue because received HTTP 0.1 not allowed. Is it because of the format of the message? Might as well be because it was AI and we cannot trust it. Oh, what is the way of writing this? If you're using the HTTP, waste of time. Let's see if this helps us when doing anything. Yeah, this looks promising. Production ready TCP server. So you connect, so you listen to the server and then accept accept the connection. It should be handle the connection. Okay. Connection dot close that we did. But where is it? Connection dot read. Oh, okay, okay. You can even read from that, right? So connection dot read buffer. What is the buffer? Okay, so if we create a buffer here and want to read from the buffer, then let's maybe just write those buffers back, right? You can write the buffer back to that thing. So hopefully here we can um, this might not work. There's no harm in trying it. Data is hello, not resolved Foxtree post. Interesting. Why is it not able to understand that? And why is it too complex? And this is just too much. He was doing everything at once, so I didn't want it to have been doing everything at once here. So this looks familiar in what AI gave us to us. Connection closed. But like, what is it doing? What is I not copy doing? I not copy connection to connection. Okay. Oh, what? That. Is why I'm confusing this connection with this connection. What a difference. This is the instance, right? So you can simply pass the C and C. Interesting. You cannot pass it. This is little weird. Maybe this is I didn't get what it was, but I can still understand what was this here. So at least we can print to the console that we read the buffers, read the buffer after we have read the buffer actually. And here it will not work, but okay, we can see some data here. What should be buffer is casting into string so that we can read it actually. So oh, so it is able to. This is intro. This is okay. So we have the full request. Now we need to, I think, parse the request. Oh, that's why it was failing because it was an invalid HTTP response. That makes sense now. Okay. So how do we we need to split that. So first we need to split on new lines, right? Read. Let's know this. So let's do that. Let me have a split here. How do we split in hosting? Perfect. And close this. Line this way. So how is it to post request? Like, uh, this is what, if I remove this, it becomes a get request. So okay, the first line is called the request line. So that I'll try to pass that. That will be, so then those are splitted by new lines. So I think slash r slash n is the delimiter for each of the lines. I think we can print this at least and see if it works. It's a little weird to see it here. I think it will work, but let's see. So now what we need is the method and the URL. Target path version, yeah, that is what we need. This will be a little this is wrong. And clearly see that. We need to split on spaces, right? Like split on spaces. I don't think we can do that here. So request line will be that. And then method path conversion will be request line 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2. Sorry. Why is it still complaining? Method declared and not used. Yeah, here it is still complaining. Request line defines string as one methods. Like strings were split. Okay, we pass the um, value here. May not use it as a function into that thing. Makes sense. Okay, we have it. Post slash and that. So this works. Well, let's print it. Uh, we are able to separate that out. And what we do next? Uh, this is going to be. I think what we can do next is simple. To this will be headers, and this will be separated between the headers, the request lines, and the request body, right? So uh, what we can do is we can have a for loop until until where. So what we do first? First is the request headers, right? So we will encounter here, right? Is it the right way to do it? Yes, maybe it is not the right way to do it. Yes, you continue. And then what we do is headers str. It will see the headers uh, line maybe. And then what we can have is headers, which will call it make map, a map of string and string, which will take in say header headers line is sorry, what am I doing? Header line will be headers. Hmm, so annoying. Let's initialize it to one. So header line will be now this thing here, and then we can increment it if the header line is new. Sorry, header line is nil. It cannot be nil. It will be empty, right? Then what we need to do is we need to empty exit out of this and set the header. Because if it's not header, then we will do this. First, we need to split them. How do we do splitting headers? Split will be this. And the headers for 0 will be this. And the line in the list has to 1. I think that is correct. A moment of truth. Yeah, except content length, content type, host, user region. It looks like a map. It may be a map. Let's see. Check for just print that way. Yeah, it's working basically. Then we need the body, which is uh, request body will be going to be the request lines, lines number 3. Now we don't want to join. We want to join. We cannot wait that. That was a big mistake, I would say. What we can do here is something different, which is trains let's split the buffer which is buffer, and we do it on slash and slash and slash. Why? Because you will see in a moment. Because if you see the headers, it is slash r slash r slash movement. There are two new line characters here, so that will hopefully solve this issue. Maybe, maybe not. Uh, what is that? Okay. This should be the first part, not the second part. Yeah. So we have the body rightly corrected here. If we send something like, I'll make it a new line support thing and stuff like that, it might not work. I don't know, but I think this is a good solution for now. And now we need to send the response back, right? That will be, how do we do that? There should be a format as well for that. HTTP response. Okay, it looks similar, which is method. We need to separate that as well. And then there's a slash in. Just add a line. So this is a response line. And then we need the headers. Yeah, this looks correct to me. Yeah, as simple as saying that. Oh, we didn't specify any of those.